takes a whole lot of giving. Now don't be sad, don't you be mad. A better day will come. It's true that life is no picnic. It often seems a disaster, but don't you grieve when you're deceived. A better day will come. Life's like a rainbow. It has many hues. Now one day there's good news. The next brings the blues. So don't you let life start drilling. Set your soul a-chillin'. Just have a ball. Be kind to all. A better day will come. Like a rainbow, it has many hues. Now one day there's good news, the next brings the blues. So don't you let life start drilling. Set your soul a-chillin'. Just have a ball. Be kind to all. A better day will come. A better day, a better day, a better day will come. Just have a ball, be kind to all. A better day will come. Each time you fall, no, do it all. A better day will come.
Hi, I wanted more better days to come. Everybody, I'm Brad Grossman, if you didn't know, but I'm sure many of you do because this is the 20th COVID culture class, number 20. We started, I believe, on March 18th, and this is the 20th, and I am sad to say that next week is our 21st, but that also means that it's the last one before the summer ends. And I'm really excited to let you all know as we enjoy 3 weeks after, or try to, and think about how we're going to embark on the third act of this craziness that we've been experiencing. For those of you who have been with me for the last 20 weeks, you know that I have a theme every week. And the first, I'll just go right to that. The first, remember, on March 18th, we were talking about shock and what the fuck is going on, and people were having fun, and Chrissy Teigen and John Legend were doing little Instagram videos about how this is going to be the next baby booming era. And then all of a sudden, as we progressed, we saw that our emotions have changed. And on week 9th, I just said that I was calling that week the act 2 of a 3-act movie. And so we were all thinking, okay, we know that this is happening. We don't know where we're going, but what's our strategy to return? How can we open up an economy with no real plan, marketing, and also skeptical consumers? And hopefully there won't be a sequel, meaning like another wave. This was what we were saying in mid-May, leading up to the beginning of June, end of May, and we got a little wrench thrown into the narrative of hope and we experienced the George Floyd death and the ensuing protests. And of course, there is the positive way of looking at that in the sense that we're finally talking about and creating action. And we'll find out in a bit from one of our Zeitguests, Dr. Tiffany Jano, who wrote a book called Unconscious Bias and 3 other books. Thanks for being here, Tiffany. And we'll get to you after I do my Zeitguiding. Tiffany was making fun of all my tabs up there, but those of you who've been with me for the last 20 weeks and also are clients that I do this for your organizations know that the first part is the Zeitguiding, where we just hustle through everything. And so after the curveball, we still are in this second act. And here were the themes of every single week. Last week, we had a little bit of hope because we had the 4-time Tony Award winning producer, Ron Simons, and he won more Tony Awards than any other African-American in history in terms of being a producer. Audra McDonald won 5. And we had the chief creative officer of CBS, or Viacom CBS, and the CEO and chairman of Showtime, David Nevins. And this week, there are so I was talking about a cultural destruction to a cultural renaissance, which was going to give us a little bit more hope. And then in week 21, which is now, I said this is the 20th week, but it's the 21st week of COVID. I'm marking March 12th as that date when we all were mandated to shelter in place. And according to Thomas Friedman, the New York Times columnist and author, he said that this is going to be the worst month, which we should really buckle our seatbelts because of the whole school situation. What does that mean in terms of parents and their kids, parents going back to work, kids and their education? It's illuminating inequality because many people who have the money are affording tutors and homeschool teachers, where, as we know, there are many underprivileged people who won't have that luxury. And so the fun theme of the week, though, is I'm calling it the Tik Tok TOW. I'm playing with the word toe, and, I always do these funny, crazy things because I want you to remember it. I want it to stick. And so just in terms of the zeitgeist of TikTok, so those of you who have been with me for the last 15 years that I've been doing Zeitguide, which means God to the Zeitgeist, Spirit of the Times, I was teaching my clients about TikTok maybe right in its inception, before when it was Musical.ly. And I've seen, and you could see on my YouTube page, 3 months ago, I did an evolution of TikTok from there. But now it's the new social media craze. It's not so new anymore. They have over 800 million users. And I'm calling it the TikTok TOW because, first, Trump is towing TikTok out of the United States because TikTok is owned by ByteDance, which is a Chinese company. And Pompeo, just a couple weeks ago, said that TikTok will be banned in the United States. So crazy thing. I know all of your kids are probably obsessed with it. There are even TikTok moms. There are people who start dating on TikTok. There was a great piece in the New York Times about there is a subculture of gay women, lesbians, who are finding love, and the best love that they've ever found, more than any dating app on TikTok. And obviously you've heard from your kids that there's the Hype House and the Swipe House and the Swamp House or whatever, and it's like a reality show. And in fact, there is a television company called Wheelhouse who is optioning these virtual houses of clicks into a television show. So, oh my God, consumers are going crazy. But Microsoft says they're going to tow it back to the United States by buying it away from ByteDance. And for those of you who don't know, Microsoft really is not in the consumer-facing industry. They are more into enterprise. They actually failed in it. Remember, they had this phone in 2008, 9, 10 that failed. They have the Xbox, but they've been doing an amazing job with Satya Nadella, the new CEO, who basically reignited, but focused on the cloud, focused on enterprise. So why the heck would they want to buy a consumer-facing technology company? So Microsoft is towing it back. That's the big question. If I was going to be a conspiracy theorist, who was the one company that wasn't sent to Washington last week? to actually think about their regulatory measures, or if they are being monopolistic, Microsoft. So maybe Trump is in cahoots with Microsoft, who knows, saying, okay, you don't have to come if you get TikTok out of it. And I actually read a story today that basically Trump wants Microsoft to buy it so he can completely eradicate it from culture. So that's that. Now, Trump asked for the tow fee. So if you're going to like get him out of China, right, he wants actually a cut from the sale since it was his idea. And then, just so you know, I don't know if you saw the memo, but now this is providing, so now you could be even cooler if you go back to your kids, or if you're a CMO who really doesn't know anything. I'm just kidding. And you have all these young people who are working for you who know this stuff. Well, TikTok's Terrible Weekend is music to Triller's ears. And, they basically have only 50 million monthly users compared to 800 million. But after learning about this narrative, there are other TikTok-like platforms that could step into where we are right now and take the competition away from them. Instagram. Oh, this is Likey. So you should know, when it was banned in India, because India didn't want any Chinese companies there in India as well, with fear of them stealing the data, they started using this other one called Likey. So if those of you who saw TikTok, we don't have time to go through this because we want to hear from Tiffany and our other Zeit guest, Matt Seiler, who's the managing director of Reigns International. And we're going to hear about how to get a job and what is he doing about it, as he actually was in the marketing and advertising space, the CEO of IPG Media Brands, and has shifted because he's a serial disruptor. But he's like me, we're always so ahead of the curve. But this is going to work, Matt. I know it. So this is Likey app, just so you can see it. You could see that it has more of a international flavor for those of you in the United States. So that was one sample. Those of you who have contributed, you get all the links from my Zeitguiding. But so that's Likey. This is Triller, as I showed you. This is what it looks like. And basically how they're redefining that or comparing themselves to TikTok is that you could basically make your own music video, right? But they'll edit it for you automatically. So they'll do all the work. So there you have it. Snapchat is actually making a lot of deals with record companies so that they want to get into the game. And Instagram is actually doing something where they're trying to get in there with Reel. So Instagram, which is already Facebook, which owns Instagram, is already being accused for being monopolistic for owning all these platforms. But Facebook is creating a new system within Instagram so that they could get all the TikTok creators over to Facebook. So very important to know all this kind of stuff. If any of you want a crash course in TikTok, since I am a TikTok expert now, email me. I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you the evolution. I'll show you about the Chinese sentiment. But as culture class is ending next week, this is, a really fun way to stay engaged.